The number one rising entrepreneur in America today is a Black woman. A Black woman who may be single, raising 2-3 kids, starting a business, working a full-time job. But she says, hey, I have to step up to the plate so I can provide for my family and live the life that I desire for myself. And since I'm doing it by myself, I'm gonna set up something for my kids so they can have a legacy. Brothers, we gotta step up to the plate and handle our responsibility. But queens, you all are winning. And today's show is dedicated to you. And if you're one of the queens watching this and you're saying, yo, I need some encouragement, lock in. Get locked in, get a pen, get a paper, get your iPad pen, and write down some notes. Because today we have a young lady on the show. Her name is Ellie. I've been following her for about a year. So you're 29, turning 30 this year. Let's fast forward or rewind 10 years ago. When were you married?
I got married at 20. I met him at 19.
You met him at 19, got married at 20. Yeah. All right. So fast forward.
Yeah.
From 20 to now, you out of that relationship, you got 4.
Woo!
4 kids.
3, 4, yes. And the last 2 are twins.
The last 2 are twins. Mm-hmm. You have 4 kids at
4 kids.
By what age?
By 28 or 27, I gave birth to the twins.
27 with 4 kids.
Yeah.
Where were you at in that season of life? Like income-wise, job-wise, like were you in a good, healthy place when you brought in 4 kids into this life, into this world?
So, I've always had good jobs. I worked in corporate America. I was making 6 figures by the time I turned 24, 25.
Okay.
So I've always had good jobs. The problem was he didn't, right? So everything was on me.
I got you.
I was taking care of the husband, birthing the babies, breastfeeding the babies, going to work, bringing in the income, getting promoted, birthing more babies, taking care of the home, paying the rent. I mean, it was just
You was doing everything.
Everything. To the story.
All right, so you lived in Florida.
Yep, so Florida, then moved to LA. Okay. LA is where I would say my best job. That's when I started making 6 figures out here. Okay. But if you know LA, $120,000,
that's not.
It's pretty much still $60,000 or $50,000.
Right.
So at that point, I had my second child. So I had 2 kids by then. I was like 24, 25.
Okay.
Then moved to Texas.
Yeah.
Around 26, 27.
Okay.
That's when I was pregnant with the twins.
Wow.
Right before the pandemic, got laid off from the job, gave birth to the twins, and then I asked for a separation. 2 months after the twins.
Whoa. Flag on the plate. I'm using my homegirl, Michelle Williams. Flag on the plate.
Flag.
Pandemic hits.
Pandemic hits right after.
You moved to Texas.
Yes, basically. So pandemic hits right after I moved to Texas in the midst of the divorce. Because I got divorce finalized February 2020.
Okay.
Pandemic hits, what was that, March, April?
Yep. So you asked for the divorce before the pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. Pandemic hits, you lose your job.
Correct.
You're a single mother.
And I live at home with my mom.
And you live at home with your mom?
Yeah, I moved home to my mom.
With 4 kids?
With 4 kids.
In Texas?
No, in LA. I moved back to LA.
You moved back to LA?
Let me tell you something. When I moved back to LA, it was just me and all the 4 kids. Anthony, I want you to picture me with 4 kids going through the airport with 5 luggages, 4 children, 2 of them in a stroller, taking periodic breaks to go breastfeed the twins alone.
Alone?
I had to make the journey alone.
How'd you get through the airport?
I had help.
Because it's a struggle for me to pull too.
Listen, people saw me and just started helping me. Literally. That was just God. They saw me with these kids and these bags and were like, what's happening? And I'm just like, I need to get back to my mom's house. And they helped me.
I'm curious, Ellen.
Yeah.
How were you emotionally then? Moving back home with your mom, 4 kids, 26, 27 years old.
Yeah.
Not married. The last 5 years of your life, you've been carrying this workload, it seems like.
Huge.
How were you internally? How were you emotionally?
It was a tough time. It was a tough time. I think the only thing that got me through in those moments was God.
Yeah.
I'm Muslim, so I pray 5 times a day. I'm so connected to that source.
Yeah.
But it was extremely challenging. You know, when you have an idea of what your life is going to be,
Yeah.
and when it takes a completely opposite turn from that in a quick period of time,
Yeah.
you feel like your life is in shambles. I mean, I felt like here I am with 4 kids. I'm thinking these people probably think I'm somebody's baby mama. They're probably like, you know, oh, this woman doesn't have her life together. You know, and I felt like, do I not have my life together? Because I went from being married to what we praise as a great thing to now being unmarried when I knew I was getting out of an unhealthy situation.
Right.
But it felt like I was going from one unhealthy thing right into another. Now living at home with my moms at 20, 26, 27 years old with no job. It's not cute.
It's not. It
wasn't cute.
I can only imagine that. You know what I'm saying? And I really wanted to start at the base of your story.
Yeah.
Because that was one season of your life.
Yeah.
Now you're in a completely different season. And sometimes you see shows, they'll start off with all the glam, all the but then they don't really spend time in that season. Because there's some of you all watching right now, right? And I feel as if I wanted you all to meet Ellie and really understand her from the where she was. 27 with 4 kids. You know, had to move back in with her mom after being married, after making 6 figures and doing well, but she carried all the workload and had to go back home. You know, some of you all are watching this right now saying, I relate to that. Man, I understand that. Man, I'm in that right now. What I want to encourage you is get a pen and paper, because we're about to give you some wisdom and some knowledge on how to start switching that season in your life, on how to adjust and how to move from the season you're in right now to a whole completely different season. And here's the thing. I want to be honest. It's not going to be easy. But you have everything on the inside of you to get there. You know, Ellie reminds me of me, just a different version of me. You know, she went back home. I went to the back of my car. And what pays us now is the gifts and the talents that are on the inside of us. And so, yeah, we about to get into it. We about to get into it. So, all right, Ellie, I just saw on your Instagram that you just bought a Mercedes G-Wagon.
Oh, you know, her name is Moolah.
Moolah.
Yeah.
You just bought Moolah. So you went from being 27, 4 kids, living back home with your mom, having a job, because you still kept your job, right? I mean, well, you got a job eventually. To now you make 7 figures a year. You know, let's go there.
Let's go.
How did that happen? Like, how did you go from being there to where you are now? I mean, you walked in with a nice purse. I don't know the name of that purse, but I know it was expensive. You know what I'm saying?
A little something.
Yeah, you come in here with a whole entourage. I'm like, that ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? You cutting payroll checks. How did you go from there to where you are now? What's the secret ingredient to start making 7 figures a year?
Wow. Well, the number one ingredient is faith.
Okay.
And prayer.
Yeah.
That's just number one. I want to make sure everybody understands. None of this is possible without that solid foundation.
Right.
Because when I had nothing, back at home with my mom, on EBT, cash aid, you know, that was the income. When the job left, it was like, okay, let me manage this $750 a month in food stamps.
Oh, wow.
You know, so, but knowing at that moment, even though that was what my reality was, I knew that wasn't permanent. I had to believe that wasn't permanent. And that's where my prayer came in. So from there, the next step is to really take an inventory of what you know how to do and figure out who will pay you for what you know how to do. Back that up.
To start making income.
Yeah.
No, do an inventory on what do you know how to do and who will pay you to get the information on what you know how to do.
Exactly.
What do you know how to do well?
So my list, right? So everyone needs to make their list.
Right.
My list I'm really good at sales.
Okay.
I'm really good at coaching. I worked as director of sales. That's my whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my corporate background.
That's your corporate background.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm really good at financial literacy. I'm a life insurance broker as well.
Okay.
I'm really good at really creating systems, whether it's operational systems, sales systems, just ways for people to put organization into their business because I worked in startups and help it to flourish.
Yeah.
So when I made all this list and cooking and, looking good, all those other things, I had all these lists, but I said, okay, let me look at what someone can pay me for that's directly related to what I've already done successfully. So I make my list. You also as well want to make a list of what you've actually accomplished with that. So when I was director of sales, I helped the company I worked for scale to $4 million in revenue. So I really knew what I was doing. And I said, okay, this seems like close to where I might be able to turn this into something. So I said, how can I take what I used to do for this company and I applied to 50 jobs.
50?
I tried my best to get a job, Anthony.
This is right around the
pandemic.
COVID. Okay.
Couldn't get no job.
Couldn't get a job.
With this long resume.
Okay.
Not get a job. So I said, okay, since no one's hiring me for this skill, how can I take what I do know how to do for businesses, but give it directly to businesses? So this is how I created my coaching and consulting. So that's what people should do. They should look at, okay, what do I actually know how to do? What do I have a proven record in?
Yeah.
How can I give it straight to the people that need it?
Yeah.
That's your business. Don't try to do something that you don't really have any experience in. Start there. Then you can always expand later. You know what I'm saying?
So practically, how did you start? So I know one part of your story is you got the stimulus check.
I did.
And how did you flip that?
So, stimulus check money, right? $1,200 hits my account. Well, really, I got mine and then enough for my kids. Yes. But the kids' money, we don't touch that. That goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
So my $1,200, I knew it was coming. I said, okay, this is my opportunity because Cash Aid is not going to give me this much, right?
Right.
This is my opportunity to take this and do something that I might not ever get the chance to do, at least not right now.
Okay.
So I put money on a ring light, bought a ring light for my room.
Yep.
Bought some domains for my website,
Okay. Yeah.
Purchased my LLC.
Okay.
Upgraded my phone.
Okay. Upgrade,
made a little deposit payment,
Had to get a new phone.
Had to make sure, was getting the best camera quality as we could. Made a little deposit.
Yep.
And then I put a little bit on the side just to try to run ads, know. And that was my startup money into my business. So the first thing I did with that ring light and with that phone, I went to Instagram and started creating content.
So you took the message that's on the inside of you.
Yes.
Went out there and made a small investment. You didn't go out there and rack up a whole bunch of debt to get cameras and this and that. You took the means that you had.
Yep.
Turned it into what you could afford.
Yep.
And then you went to work. So no excuses.
None. And this is with the kids there at the house.
4 kids at the house. And you're still living with your mom.
And I'm still at my mom's house. So she's like, why are you always on your phone?
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, I'm trying to build something here. I need you to understand. But you're always on your phone. You got to take care of these kids. The babies are hungry. I need your help because I think this can become something.
Was that difficult?
Oh.
You and your mom dynamic?
Very difficult. It was hard.
How is she now? I'm curious. Seeing the success.
Yeah.
Seeing you winning. I mean, you got 2 vehicles, one for you and your kids and one for you to,
And one for the nanny, too. By the way. But you know what? I mean, hey, God is good all the time.
This is all within the last 2 years.
This is all within, the last 2 years. I mean, literally, I started the business officially July 2020 is like my start date. That's when I really started posting. That's when I formed my entity. That's when I really was like, I'm in business.
Yeah.
So where are we? We're February 2022. So back to what you were saying about my mom. I mean, she's really proud. I think now her worry was, my daughter is 27 with 4 kids. What's going to happen? She's living at home with me and she's on her damn phone all the time.
Yeah.
Now I think her worry is, my daughter is a multimillionaire with 4 kids. Is she protected? Is she safe? Is she keeping a head on her shoulders? Is she spending enough time with her kids? Because I travel so much, But ultimately, she's proud. I'm so grateful to her because if she hadn't opened her doors, I don't know where I would be right now. You know, if she hadn't watched the kids while I was going live and tried her best to keep them quiet so I could deliver the content, deliver the value, where would I be?
Where would you be?
You know, I wouldn't be here, that's for sure. So that was such a foundational time. And that's really when I, you know, like you said, went to work. No excuses. Got up before my kids, went to bed after the kids. Created the courses throughout the wee night hours, you know, to make sure I could deliver this educational value to my audience that started at 300 people. And here we are at 300,000 people.
Wow. All because you just focused on what was on the inside of you.
Yes.
And then what can you do that other people will pay you for?
Exactly.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
You're not the only person who do what you do.
No, I'm not.
Did that not scare you? Like, did it not like be like, well, she's doing that or he's doing that? Like, or did you just say, you know what, cool, I'm just gonna go in there and just do it and just see who just rocks with me?
You know, I love that question because when I was doing my market research before I decided to start, I looked at all the other business coaches, consultants, just people who were doing something similar and thought about, okay, what are they doing or what are they not doing that I can come and kind of fill in that gap? I'm really grateful to have taken that moment to observe the surroundings and observe the market because it allowed me to lean in more into my voice. And I know that that's why certain people will come to me versus them because of the fact that I am a mother. I am a single mother. I have this, you know, testimony. And I was always very authentic in my delivery. You know, I could have gone into debt to get a beautiful space, an office, etc. But I didn't move out of my mom's house until after I had made $1 million.
Wow.
I did it all right there because I felt like someone's either going to rock with me because they see me teaching this business and giving them what they need at my mom's house, or someone's going to not rock with me for it. And I chose to only have the people who were really going to see the value in it and go forward. So I never felt intimidated by the competition because I believe whatever business you're in, there really isn't any competition. It's all about perspective, and you and I could do the same thing, but we'll both have a different way to do it. And there's going to be people that buy from you. There's going to be people that buy from me. There's going to be people that buy from both of us. You know? And so we're not competition. We're just both in the same lane in different cars.
Yo, listen, man. Those people watching right now, later this fall, I am releasing a mastermind around how I've been able to build, you know, what I've done, right? So I'm going to be teaching people how to really turn what God has put on the inside of them in the way that I do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I love that. I can't wait because I'm only going to open it up to like a very small group of people. But I want to ask you a question because you're doing this now. How do people, like if you're sitting down with me at the table right now, you know, and I say, yo, Ellie, how do I start a business? But for me, what kind of business should I start? So like for those watching right now, they're saying, okay, cool, I have a full-time job.
Yes.
I want to get out of debt. So the majority of people of mine are looking to get out of debt and looking to build wealth.
Good.
So my method is, hey, keep your 9 to 5, but then on the side, get a small business.
Yeah.
So that way you can get the tax write-off, produce more income. But they're like, okay, cool. What should I do?
Right.
How do I start it?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I love that. So I agree. You know, if I had the opportunity to keep my 9 to 5, it would have been amazing.
Ooh,
But I was just thrust into it. And it was like, we either going to stay on EBT or we going to get this money. So,
Absolutely.
You know, what's it going to be?
Yeah.
I think that for those who are looking to start a business while they're still at their job, the first method I shared of making your list of what you're good at, what you already know how to do is key. And, you know, go straight into consulting, right?
Yeah.
So while you're at your 9 to 5, look at, okay, what skills am I already using here that I could, again, be paid for outside of here and start making money?
Teaching good.
You know?
Yep.
Boom, that's right there.
Yeah.
In addition to that, if you have a hobby, right? Maybe you love to make shea butters. Maybe you love to do hair. Maybe you love fashion. Set up an online store.
Ooh.
Get into this e-commerce game.
E-commerce game is the truth right now.
It's the truth. Set up an online store, either selling your own stuff or set up a drop shipping store.
Ooh.
Which can run for you in the background.
And you're not even working that hard.
You're not even working that hard.
I was watching a show. I forgot the name of a show, but it's this young lady on here, and she sells female products. And she made $2 million in 1 year. Just from getting products for females stuff.
Lady tings.
And just selling it online.
Yeah.
While she's working a job.
I'm telling you.
And I'm like.
I'm telling you.
I'm in the wrong business.
Listen. Baked goodies.
Yeah.
I mean, it can all be sold online. We have an unprecedented ability right now to be able to access people nationally and internationally simply through social media and the internet.
Absolutely.
So you can literally be at your job running up $20,000 a month, either consulting or in e-commerce. So that would be the first thing. And make sure, like you said, form that LLC.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to do e-commerce, make sure you do an online retail LLC. If you're going to do consulting, get you a general consulting LLC.
Yeah.
That way, anything you do have to spend is a tax write-off, as you know.
Yep.
Your home office. I mean, you know, there's just ways
so much you can do around it.
So many amazing things you can do. Yeah. But that can be your first intro into business. And what I tell people is, you know, the first business you start doesn't have to be your forever business, right? You are just starting with what I call the path of least resistance. So if you know that you're naturally good at, for me, coaching or sales, that's my path of least resistance. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to build a solid brand and foundation around that. Now, when I want to go ahead and start my cooking channel, because I love to cook, when I want to go ahead and do, you know, my fashion line, because I be looking good, when I want to go ahead and do all of that, guess what? I already have, gets on my nerves. I already have this solid brand built. So people will watch you. Would you watch my show? Would you watch my cooking?
Okay, cool.
See?
Figure it out.
So exactly. Your first business doesn't have to be your forever business. Start with the path of least resistance. And then once you quit that 9 to 5, once you get that business up to 5-6 figures a month, then you might say, okay, now I really want to get into real estate. Now I really want to get into whatever the case might be. But that's how you start.
So I know some of the hurdles when I first started, right? When I started my own business, because I transitioned from my mentor and good friend, Dave Ramsey, out to on my own, right?
Yeah.
And I was so excited, right? And I was like, man, this is good. Nervous, but excited that God gave me the opportunity to do this. But man, I hit so many hurdles that I didn't know I was going to hit.
Like what?
One of the hurdles that I hit was doing it alone and having to be everybody. Yeah. I had to be the producer. I had to be the editor. I had to be up on YouTube watching how to do my own graphics for a while. Like, I remember for the first 2 weeks of really starting this thing, I did not sleep. I lived on Celsius energy drinks and Mountain Dew.
Wow.
Because it's like, yo, if this fails, it's because I didn't do it. I'm curious, when you first started your business, what were some of the hurdles you had to get over to get to where you are today? And still, at our level, we still got hurdles.
Oh, yes.
And some of these hurdles are even higher because our careers are higher.
Yeah.
But when you first started, for people who are just now starting out, so all right, cool, I'm gonna get this LLC, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. What are some of the hurdles that they should expect? And what are some of the hurdles, and what are the ways to get over those hurdles?
Absolutely. So I think for me, one of the biggest hurdles I first faced was growth online and consistency.
That's so good.
Those are the biggest ones for me. And I think for any new business owner, especially now, that's going to be what they're going to face, you know? So my top tips for overcoming or really just pushing through the growth.
So good.
Are, you know, you have to look at, okay, when I'm thinking about what my business does, what value it gives, what problems does it solve, I need to be creating content that speaks directly to that every single day and posting that every single day.
Yes.
That's what's going to make
Yes.
people grow, because you have to think about it. An audience is going to determine if they're going to follow you or buy from you based on what's in it for them. So your content should always be showing them what's in it for them. Hey, my business will show you how to do X, Y, and Z. My skincare will clear up your whatever. My food will whatever, right? That's what's in it for them. Beyond that, the consistency piece, child, it's hard.
It's hard to be
consistent.
It is.
Especially when you don't know what the outcome is going to be. Like, we don't really know if this is going to work or not.
We don't.
When you start this business,
You don't.
you're like, I mean, I hope I'm going to get some money, but...
And after your research shows that it should work,
Right.
you know, but life still can hit.
Can hit. So it can be hard to be consistent when you don't know what's going to come to fruition after. But I think for me, what helped me to craft that consistency is to always have a list of goals and look at that every single day and
So
say,
good.
you know what? There has to be a consequence for my inconsistency. So if I don't show up for my business today, if I don't post, if I don't go live, if I don't get on a coaching call, whatever the case is, I won't be able to have X, Y, and Z in 3 months.
Ooh. That's
I won't-
real.
You know, I won't be able to buy this for my son's birthday. I mean,
Right.
we have to create the same way when we don't go to work.
Yeah.
We get written up or whatever.
Yeah.
What is going to be that
For us.
For us.
Yeah. What systems are you putting into place to hold you accountable for the choices that you make?
Exactly.
And I think the systems that you put in place hold you accountable for good choices and for bad choices. Good choice, I showed up, I went in my room, I got in front of my ring light, I got in front of my phone that I did not have to go rack up a bunch of debt for.
Not at all.
And, you know, I did content today.
Yeah.
You know, and so because of that, my reward or my consequence is now I can post it and it's going to build my tribe.
Exactly.
Well, I went out on a date. It was a real good date. Slept in. And I didn't.
we didn't show up for our business.
Exactly. What's the consequence? Now you just missed out on impacting and influencing people. And now you're not building your tribe. And I love how you said, hey, identify growth and identify, you know, just really being consistent.
Yeah.
That's hard for me still today. It's like, man, Jesus. Like,
I
all
know.
right, Anthony, you need to schedule a whole week to record content, okay? And I got to get with my team. All right, cool. Then we got to be real good on social media. All right,
Yes.
cool, great. But here's the thing, though. That growth part is going to be something serious.
Yeah.
Because if you're consistent, you're going to grow fast.
You will.
And if you're not prepared for the growth, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But how quickly can you put systems in place to maintain that growth?
And that's so key, because when I started to grow quickly, I was doing all my own customer service up
Yeah.
until 3 a.m., answering DMs, answering emails, fixing things.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I realized, okay, I'm probably effectively making less money because I'm doing too much.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's when you all will get to a point where it's like, it will be worthwhile to me to bring someone else in to handle these elements so I can stay in my zone of genius.
Yeah.
Which, if your zone of genius is making the skincare, you need to stay there.
Exactly.
If your zone of genius is making the content, which is mine, I need to stay there, right? And that essentially 10x my income.
Absolutely.
Quick.
Absolutely.
Because then
Absolutely.
I could just say, okay, this is your area of domain. Serve my customers. Let me go out here and bring more customers.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. When I first transitioned out on my own, I was like, all right, cool. I could do this on my own. I could set up a camera and do all this stuff.
I know.
But I was like, no, I win when I can be the visionary and go
Yes.
after my vision. I will win even better if I can put someone in that chair who can see my vision and be like, all right, cool. Let me help that vision be better.
Yeah.
That's why I brought on my boy CJ. He's been rocking me for years. I'm not the best writer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I write like I talk. I'm a great communicator.
Great.
I love talking, but I hate writing. And I've written a book that's sold over hundreds of thousands of
I know,
copies.
which
You know
I'm
what I'm
like,
saying?
wow.
But I hire a writer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I have an amazing writer out of Spain right now, and I
love
love
that.
her. She is,
Amazing.
that's my girl. What up, Danny? You know what I'm saying? And so what I've learned is like what you said is as you're growing, identify your strengths, identify your weaknesses and hire someone
For those.
for those weaknesses. Because as we're growing with my team, I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of, you know what I'm saying,
All of
stuff. Because I win when I can think of the ultimate vision and execute that vision and put people into place. And I like that.
I like that too.
I really do.
And it makes it a we thing too.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I think the misconception is you get rich and you get all this money alone, but it's never like that. It's really, you get more the more people you bring in.
Oh, man. That's one of my goals. One of my goals is that everyone on my team eventually, as my income is growing as an owner of the company, I'm not the only one eating good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody eating steak
I want
and
to see,
lobster.
I want to see my people making multiple six figures to even millions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If I'm a multimillionaire, I better have at least 1 or 2 millionaires on my team.
Around me. I mean, come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
love that.
I mean, that's what we about over here.
That's what we
At
bought
the
over
table.
here.
You know what I'm saying? With AO's
We making
family.
millions. Making
Yes.
millionaires.
And that's what it's about. So my team, we got millionaires. Then my tribe, from the education and then from putting them in front of people like yourself, they're getting the wisdom and the knowledge so they can go out there and produce millions for themselves.
Yeah, and they can.
One of my homegirls, Kezia Williams, Professor Keys, she said something that was so good. She said, we have so many black entrepreneurs, but we don't have black people who are able to employ and create jobs for other people.
It's different.
She said the majority of us are entrepreneurs, but we only work for ourselves. We're not able to go out there and hire other people, pay them six figures, help them produce wealth. And I was like, yo,
That's different.
that's a whole nother ball game. And that's what we're about over here.
Yeah.
So this is good. This is really, this is so good. I would say about 40% of my tribe are black single mothers.
Yeah.
These are black single mothers who are educated.
Shout out to them.
Oh, man, hands down. And they have a job. They have a small business on the side. One of them that I really, really, really want to know is, how do you balance being a mother, singleness, dating life, and entrepreneurship? So you make the money.
Yeah.
And every time I see you on social media, you're in front of a lot of people, inspiring and impacting people. You don't post about your dating life, so we don't know what that is, which is a good thing. And we really don't see your kids. I saw a couple of videos of you like educating your kids, which is great. But do you believe in balancing? Do you believe in priorities? Like, how do you really just nurture all three of those things?
Well, I can definitely say it's not easy.
Okay.
It is a big balancing act.
Yeah.
I think that I know one of my purposes in life is to raise great children.
Yes.
And so
You have 4 of them.
I have 4 of them. So I got a lot of raising to do. But I think the way I'm able to balance it, I have help, number one. So I have my mom, she helps. Now I'm at the point where I do have a nanny who is full time.
Okay.
But even beyond that, I tell myself that I have to make the time to be present as a mother and fit the business around that.
So priority is motherhood right now.
Yes.
Then you fit the business around being a mother.
Yes. Try my best.
Okay.
Some days it's business. And fit mommy around that,
Yeah.
But as long as you know what's important to you, as long as you know what I want my kids to see me achieving. I want them to see that their mom is working. I'm always explaining to them, mommy's traveling because I'm doing this. FaceTiming so you can see what mommy's doing. Mommy's going to work so I can get this for you, take you here, give something to you. I'm always making sure that they're a part of this growth process so that they understand it's not that mommy's just not home. No, mommy's doing this so we can have XYZ, But there's definitely moments where mom guilt comes in. It's very real, especially because my kids are so young. But the way that I reduce that is to be grateful to God and know God wouldn't have given me this opportunity and put this on my plate if it weren't for my 4 kids. I believe that the drive that I have and the success I've had is because God knows I have 4 mouths to feed, you know? So I think for the other moms who are wanting to build a business and wanting to get to this level, know that your kids are ultimately your fuel. I don't see them as a burden. It's hard to do it with kids, but it also sets us apart from any other type of entrepreneur because we're balancing at home and we're showing up for our business and doing an amazing job. So if anything, I feel more equipped to be successful because of the fact that I have so much more on my plate as a mother.
Yeah. We're doing what we got to do for 2 strong weeks with my whole team. And then, of course, after that, I want to be in a position to where I can spend 1 week and it's just all family. It's just all kids. You know what I'm saying? I take them to school. I show up and eat lunch with my son at this school. I can, do this and do that. So it's like one of the things I'm learning is I got to maximize and steward my single season well. So that way when I do get married, I will see the rewards and the fruit of me making those decisions. So I'm putting into practice now what I desire tomorrow, married life, right? And so that way,
I agree with that.
I will have father guilt, but it won't be as bad.
Right.
Because every parent who I've met, it's like, just, I could have did better over here. But it's a learning. You learn as you go.
You learn as you go.
So I listen to people like yourself.
Yeah.
I listen to my boy CJ. I listen to my parents. Like, man, I wish we would have did this. Like, all right, bet. Let me write that down.
Let me write that down, exactly.
And it's like, I don't strive to be perfect, but what I am saying is like, yo, put systems into place now.
Yes.
So that when you do have kids, you already have a system in place that is working for the family.
I feel like I'm doing that too. I already have the kids, but I'm doing that in preparation for marriage again.
Do you want to be married again?
I do.
I don't think so.
I really do.
I mean, you're young, you successful, you got money. You know what I'm saying?
I got moolah, you know.
She walked up in here, y'all, with like 6-inch heels on, and she's already like 6'2". So with them heels on, she's like 6'5". You know what I'm saying?
First of all,
I'm just like, God, don't. But do you really want to be married?
I really do.